understand you've already been arrested for possession of intent to supply class A. I'm going to further arrest you on suspicion of conspiracy to import class A drugs.
Now, before I begin this video, I'm just going to take a quick minute of your time. So yesterday, you guys absolutely smashed it. So I was saying, let's try and get to 1,000 likes in 24 hours. Guys, just over 3 hours, we got 1,000. So big respect to each and every one of you. A few people have left some comments saying, oh, why are you asking for likes or all that kind of stuff? Now, it's not for the reason because, you know, I want to go to sleep all warm and fuzzy at night thinking that everybody likes me and all that kind of stuff. No, it's not for that. It's because, as I said, I've been shadow banned and I just wanted to see whether likes, comments from people who have subscribed actually goes to those people that have randomly been unsubscribed or I don't appear on their homepage. Well, I was right. A lot of people weren't actually getting me on the home feed, even though they thought that they would subscribe to me, but they were actually unsubscribed to me. And as you can see from this chart from yesterday, nearly 200 people have reconnected back with the channel. It's all thanks to you guys, what you did for me yesterday. I really appreciate it for smashing the like button. Now, some of you probably smashed your phone. Some said they smashed the fingers. And to all those that said that they smashed the fingers, I'm sorry you won't be able to tickle your missus on red panty night. I'm only messing. But on a serious note, if you can, once again, just please smash the like button and support every single video. I really appreciate it. And from the bottom of my heart, without you guys, this platform wouldn't be here. So big respect. In this next news story, 5 drug smugglers who posed as wholesale grocers to import £200 million of coke into the UK hidden inside a shipment of bananas have been jailed for more than 100 years. Border Force agents seized 2.3 tons of the drug when it arrived at Portsmouth harbour from Colombia in February 2021. They switched the narcotics for more bananas and sent 2 undercover officers posing as lorry drivers to deliver the haul to a bogus grocery warehouse the gang had set up in Enfield in North London. Shortly after, armed police burst in and arrested 4 of the gang. They also recovered a loaded revolver hidden on a roof beam and the electronic key flat to a flat in Islington. The flat was empty and it was obvious no one was staying there, the Old Bailey heard. But under the kitchen cabinets, police found another 33 kilo blocks of cocaine from a previous shipment worth around 1.24 million wholesale with a street value of at least £2 million. The crime boss, Petko Zhutev, was in charge of taking delivery of the Colombian drugs at the warehouse. Midway through a retrial, Zhutev, who's 39, who entered the UK from Bulgaria in January 2021, admitted importation of Class A drugs, having previously been cleared of possession of a revolver and ammunition with intent to endanger life. Today, he was jailed for 27 years alongside 4 others after Judge Rebecca Trowler KC said he played a leading role in the importation. The judge said Zhutev had committed previous offences, including making a fraudulent application of a bounce-back loan to a company in his name. Eric Muchi, who's 45, and Olsi Ebeja, who's 40, from Islington, were found guilty of importation at the conclusion of a retrial and was sentenced to 33 years and 17 years imprisonment, respectively. It's a big sentence, huh? Muchi, described by the judge as a key organiser, was jailed for 26 years for the importation and given a further consecutive sentence of 7 years imprisonment for the supply of Class A drugs, after cops recovered 33 kilos of coke from a property in North London. Judge Trowler said Muchi, who had worked as a plumber since arriving in the UK as a refugee from Albania, was organising the buying and selling of cocaine on a commercial scale. She said Ebeja, who was born in Kosovo and had worked as a waiter and a minicab driver since arriving in 1999, carried out an operational function in the enterprise, including as a driver. Bruno Kuci, who was born in Albania and came to the UK in December 2020, and Gjergji Diko were arrested, with Zhutev had previously pleaded guilty to the importation charges. Kuci was described as a trusted member of the operation. He was jailed for 21 years, whilst Diko, who had also moved to the UK from Albania and had worked as a mechanic for 18 years. Sentencing today, Judge Trowler said the importation was plainly the work of an organised crime group with international elements, adding the group had Bulgarian and Albanian elements. She added the extremely large quantities of cocaine involved in the organisation required to bring such amounts into the UK from Colombia demonstrated beyond doubt this was an enterprise and it was so sophisticated in its planning and it was well resourced. Jurors were told that the coke had a potential street value of around £200 million when mixed with other substances at the time, and making it the largest inland seizure ever by UK officers. As we know, that got superseded by the case that I did yesterday. So if you guys haven't seen that video, put a link in the description below and you can go check that video out as well. Judge Trawler said the sophisticated operation included specialist laminated glass being installed at the warehouse to limit visibility, as well as the use of high-vis jackets to give the impression of a legitimate operation, and Dutch SIM phones to avoid detection. Orange stickers were also used by the smugglers to identify the correct banana boxes. The NCA said the drugs had different branded stamps on them and corresponded to particular organised crime groups planned to sell them on the streets of London and the wider UK. It added that officers also found 9 empty suitcases which were said to be filled with cash generated from drug sales. John Coles, head of specialist operations at the NCA, said the sentences represent a culmination of thorough investigation. He added by intercepting this huge haul of coke, which was one of the largest ever of its kind in the UK at the time, he said we stopped it from reaching the UK communities and protected the public from a scourge of Class A drugs and street violence associated with it. Gemma Burns, a senior Crown prosecutor at the CPS, said investigators foiled the gang's banana box scheme and stopped dangerous drugs from reaching our streets. She added a banana import business was used as a front to smuggle well over 2,000 kilos of coke into the UK, representing international drug trafficking on an industrial scale. The significant sentences given to the gang means they'll be off our streets for a long time. These sentences send a clear message to criminals intent on trying to flood the UK with drugs that we will not rest until you are convicted and behind bars, and the CPS has said it will now commence confiscation proceedings to reclaim the proceeds of the crimes these guys committed. And guys, in this next news story, it's relating back to a couple of videos ago where I mentioned about drug dealers, and it seems though that they're living this life and making all this money, but ultimately either they'll end up in prison, they'll end up dead, or they'll end up losing the money to other gangsters, or in the end the CPS will come and take the money off them. And in this case, you're going to see exactly that. So a man has been ordered to pay back almost £2 million from money he gained from his role in a drug trafficking conspiracy. Richard Batty, who's 39, from East Yorkshire, was sentenced to 12 years in prison for the conspiracy to supply Class A drugs in June 2023. A confiscation hearing held at Hull Crown Court found that Mr Batty had netted about £1.9 million as a result of the criminal activity. He's been ordered to pay back approximately £375,000 through assets owned, and the outstanding amount from the £1.9 million will remain as a lifetime debt. Mr Batty was initially arrested in August 2020 as part of National Crime Agency investigation named, as we know, Operation Venetic, an international operation targeting organised crime groups. He was involved in conversations about receiving shipments of drugs between April and August 2020, with one delivery taking place in June 2020, and on that occasion, coke worth around £4.1 million was bought into the area. Mr Batty was sent 5 photos of kilo blocks of coke branded with the designer labels Prada and Gjergji, with a price of £37,500 offered. They were later seized during an interception on the M62, and a 10-ton hydraulic press used for pressing coke was seized during a search of his address. So guys, there's a couple of stories coming out from the streets of the UK. It's your boy GT. Keep it locked, keep it real.